Hey, it's me. This is about the short film Scene from a Funeral. I thought this was a really cool idea, and I really liked the overhead shot in the bathroom, how it starts off, and then there was another overhead shot, I think, later on. Um, I thought it was great dialogue, just a great script, a fun scene. As a female, I could totally relate to this. Great performances by everybody. One thing I just didn't understand is why everyone was worried about the one sister not crying, or that she wanted to cry, or I wasn't sure if something between her and the dad had taken place, um, or if she just was refusing to cry. But it seemed like there was something else there, and that was a little strange that it wasn't fleshed out to me. But maybe this is setting this up for a feature film or a second short or something like a series, because I really did enjoy it. I thought the lead actress was really, really strong. Great cast and editing and camera work and all of that. So really well done. Good job.
Scene from a Funeral has a real kind of sense of like emotional reality. So the characters feel utterly real, the situation feel utterly real. It does feel like a literal scene from a funeral. And it kind of it tends to the moving sense of pain and grief. But I also think also the mundane frustrations that surround funerals and those experiences of grieving just feels like it just feels utterly real. Um, and I love the way that it's both saddening but also kind of uplifting. And there's a bit of that kind of frustration in it, and it's a bit awkward, a bit annoying. But at the end of the day, it's got a sense of humour that lifts it up and makes it very quite warm actually. Um, and it's also framed beautifully. It's got very nice use of lighting, which sort of emphasises those emotions, draws them out, and makes for something genuinely impressive.
Scene from a funeral. I thought that the shot from above, from the ceiling at the beginning, was great to create the parameters of the environment, how small that bathroom really is, so that as each person comes in, almost like a clown car, um, the dynamic becomes even more intimate. I loved the dynamics of the family members bouncing off one another, and their opinions, their viewpoints, their inner character drives were really fun to see as like a fly on the wall, to see where their alliances and history conflicted or aligned. It was just really nice, authentic, snappy dialogue and pacing that I felt I could relate even just with one sister.
I really enjoyed this one. I thought it was really well written. The performances were great, and so many of them in such a confined space. It can't have been easy shooting all that in a powder room, but it made it feel like it felt claustrophobic at times, but I think that really kind of just played well to what our hero was sort of feeling. Like everyone was sort of, just too much around her. She couldn't even get privacy in the bathroom. But then it also felt spacious enough too. Like there was room to breathe in there. It was really interesting the way that was pulled off. Um, yeah, so I thought everything looked and felt great. The humor was a great contrast to the backdrop of the funeral. I thought that worked really well. We set up the expectation for tears, and that pays off nicely. So yeah, it was a great use of that little tight space. Some great performances packed in there, and great writing. Be hard pressed to ask for anything else out of a short. Great work.
Scene from a Funeral. Well, I really thought this was well done in terms of being shot in a small bathroom with several people in it. The overhead shots were nicely done. The story was realistic in the fact that we're dealing with a daughter who's not grieving the same as the other family members for her father at his funeral. It ends well because the mother and daughters, the other sisters, support this daughter who's just grieving in a different way for the father than the rest of them. But they're very accepting and supportive and just let her be in the end. And it's just a nice way to end the story.
So I just finished watching Scene from a Funeral. I really enjoyed this piece. I thought it was super well done, super clever. To me, this film is just an excellent example of how to make a really effective story in a way that is resourceful and contained. I really loved the minimalist, contained aspect of this film. It feels very finessed to me, that the film is so contained and so simple, but then all of the elements of the filmmaking behind it are just so clearly fleshed out and deeply thought about. The performances, the characterization, the costume design, the props, the sound design. To me, the filmmakers clearly knew how to do a lot with a little. So overall, I thought this was some really strong filmmaking, and I'm glad I watched it.